Talking with my friend, the president of the Senate in Utah, Stuart Adams. And President Stuart Adams has been on before, and he was nice enough to come back, even though he knows that I'm mean to my guests. Good to see you, President.
I'd love to be with you anytime.
You know, you're number one again, and I'm beginning to think
again,
you have rigged
again.
In the rich states, poor states, I open it up every year, and it's always Utah. Doesn't that get boring? Can you screw something up?
Only 18 years in a row. We've now reached maturity.
Now everybody wants your governor to run for president, too, because he's been so good in the tragedy. Murder of my colleague, Charlie. Your governor was a star.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
And a terrible time for your state. He stepped up and really made an impact on, I think, a lot of people around the country.
And that's part of the reason why Utah does so well. I actually get along with the Speaker of the House and the governor. I know that's hard to imagine.
Yeah. How about your delegation?
Yeah, we always get along. My ideas always get better when they get vetted by my colleagues and by the public and by the delegation. We get along pretty well.
Well, you are also the former president of ALEC. So
yes.
You're in a good position looking backwards. What role does it do, and why should people, A, join it if they're a state legislator, or support it if they're someone who deals with state legislators?
Well, there's lots of reasons why, but the big reason why is it's pretty amazing. If you want a great economy, if you want a great quality of life, if you want all the things that make the American dream come true, limited government and free markets. You let people have responsibility for themselves, keep the government out of their lives if you can, and let people decide for themselves. And that makes a great quality of life. And you learn that at ALEC. And there's lots of principles, tax principles, that you learn that I didn't know when I was a legislator. So you come here and you actually get educated as to what makes a good policy.
It doesn't tell me on my notes. Why did you get into it originally, President Adams?
I fell into it. You know, I really didn't plan on being into it, but I actually was kind of pushed into it by some friends. And I had a daughter turning 16, and there was a light that was needed on a very bad highway in Utah. And so I ran to get a light for my daughter, who was turning 16, getting her driver's license.
Are you pleased that they want the Olympics again?
Oh, absolutely. We did the Olympics in 2002. Nobody will do them better than Utah. You know, it's amazing.
You can't get Mitt Romney out of retirement,
Well, no, but we actually made money on the Olympics. There's no one makes money on the Olympics.
Well,
so
L.A. and Salt Lake are the only two places.
Well, but we actually maintained our venues. So when we bid for them for the 2034, I mean, it was very simple. We're ready, willing, and able to hold them today. Even Paris, who's doing them in France in 2030, they had to build all these things. They were promising they'd build. We are ready today. We can hold them tomorrow, and we will do a job like no one else has ever done.
Is the state happy with it?
Yeah, we are. It's one of the few things that has like an 80 or 90% approval. I can't get 80, 90% approval on anything. The Olympics are very popular in Utah.
What is your RD split in the Senate chamber, President?
We have 22 Republicans and 7 Democrats and 1 independent.
I like those numbers. How about in the House?
They're about 50, 55, and so out of 75.
And are you going to pick up a congressional district in the redistricting?
We will pick up a congressional district. Right now, we've got a really tough issue going on in Utah. We've got a court hearing about our redistricting process. We're going to fight that, but we're also probably we're growing so fast, we'll probably get another district at the next census.
Tell me, I've been asking everyone about redistricting because, California's playing for keeps. Everyone's playing for keeps. Illinois is the worst map I've ever seen, and I've been following this for 40 years. Do you want to redistrict right now in mid-cycle?
We are going to do something because of our court hearing, but what you've seen in Utah is when you have a great economy, when you're number one in rich states, poor states, another thing happens. We are the fastest growing state per capita in the last census. So we're growing fast. So we're going to get another district. But right now, because we're doing so well, I think we make people frustrated. And because of that, we have a lawsuit going on, the last redistricting case that we did, or the redistricting map. And we're going through that right now. And the courts aren't treating us very well. So we're going to continue to work and hopefully get through that.
Is it the federal court or the state court?
State court. State court.
That's the problem, is the state courts can go in a lot of different directions on these things.
So we've got a lot of work to do.
Do you have school choice in Utah?
We did. We're the only state that passed it by a 2/3 majority because we actually were the first state to actually pass a statewide school choice back in 2007, and it was overturned by referendum. And we weren't going to let that happen again. So the only way you could stop it from getting overturned by a referendum is if you passed it in both bodies by 2/3. And it was actually Speaker Wilson at the time, but Speaker Schultz, who is a speaker now, helped with it, and we got it passed in both the Senate and the House by a 2/3 majority. It's referendum proof.
How does Utah do it? There are like 3 different approaches to school choice, and I don't care which kind a state uses, but I want every state to have one version of them.
Well, we actually provide, it's a scholarship, so we use a scholarship program, but it doesn't matter, you're right. The thing that matters is the kids. I mean, we have great schools in Utah. We have great public schools in Utah. We do a good job educating our kids, but guess what? There's no kids that I have 16 grandkids. None of them are alike. They all have different needs. Some of them do very good in public schools. Some of them need some specialized attention. And if you love your kids, you're going to be able to give parents the ability to choose to find out what's best for their kids or their grandkids. Most important asset we have, most important infrastructure we can build, and that's our kids.
I have 7 grandkids, and my back is killing me after Thanksgiving. How's yours?
Hey, I love it. We had most of them over. We had a few that weren't because they went with their in-laws. Can you imagine that?
Oh,
but we only had
terrible.
18 at our house, which
Only
was great.
18?
Only 18.
I'm sure that your wife is pleased
And they all
with that.
ski with me, so that's a good thing too. We love to ski in Utah.
How have you maintained the top spot?
Again,
And for the benefit of the audience, Rich States, Poor States is an annual ranking of the states. It is done by academics, by John Williams, by economists and people who look at quality of life, affordability, reasons to move, and growth, all these different things. Utah's 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. It's sort of like being the Browns in the 60s.
yeah, and Art Laffer and Steve Moore do a good job too. But we do it there's 2 reasons why. Again, the basic principle is limited government, free markets, but regulatory process is as important as tax policy. So we've cut taxes. We cut our income tax 5 years in a row. We cut them again, again, and again, and again. So we keep cutting taxes. We have more money than we've ever had because we cut taxes. We have a great economy because of that. So we're paying our teachers better than they've ever been paid. So it's pretty amazing when you can cut taxes and take care of your needs. And you do that by good regulatory policy too. And we know how to basically get government out of your life. Northrop Grumman actually got a contract for the land-based missile defense system, and that's the entire land-based missile defense system, what I call the ICBM system. We permitted them on the west side of Hill Air Force Base in one meeting. It took us 1 or 2 months. It was built in 13 months. They were in their first building 15 months after getting the contract. We're very proud of that. We can move fast. We're not competing with Texas. We're not competing with New York. We're not competing with California or Florida. We're competing with China. And when we want to compete, we need to compete like we did in the past. I mean, the Pentagon was built in a year. And we can do those type of things in America, and we're trying to do them in Utah.
Can data centers get built there in a hurry because they like cold weather and they like lots of land?
We're working on energy development. Utah's going to be the energy capital of the world. We just last week approved a nuclear manufacturing plant in Utah. And again, we did it very quickly. We're going to do nuclear. We're going to do geothermal. We've got the biggest geothermal project in Cedar City, Utah. It'll produce 1.5 gigawatts of power. We've got cheap coal. We've got cheap natural gas. We do wind. We do solar. But we're going to compete with China because the country that controls AI is going to control the world.
Right about that.
And you got to have data centers to have AI, and you got to have power to have data centers. And we're going to go after that. We're doing critical minerals too, if you want to know.
You've got
Yes.
rare earths?
We do, and we have some of the we have 40 of the 50 critical minerals. We're going to do a critical minerals national lab in Utah. We're going to solve our problems, and we're going to compete.
I got a big problem. NIL. What is Utah doing on NIL?
Man, that might be above our pay grade because we're pushing back on it, but it's hard to reach on an antitrust system across state lines, and so
You want Congress to get in?
I hate federal overreach, but this may be something they have to do because we've got to solve this. It's actually destroying college sports. I mean, we've got great teams in Utah. I love University of Utah.
BYU's not going to make the playoffs.
BYU is a great school, but I graduated from the U, so I got to be
So
careful
did my
there.
father-in-law.
I did. Well, it's a great school, best school in the country, I think. But anyway,
No homers
Come
here.
on now.
No homers at all. But NIL is a problem.
But
Have
it's
you
a
debated
problem.
it?
But you look at these players. How do you recruit when you don't have $1 billion to go buy these players? It has turned it into a money issue rather than a competitive issue. We're ruining the kids, and they need to know how to compete. They need to have that fire in the belly. That's what drives sports. It's desire, and it's not just money. And if you throw money into this, we're going to ruin our kids, not just the program.
Does everybody in the delegation believe that? And have you taken that message back to
We've
Mike
taken
Lee
it
and
back. I think
everybody
it
else?
is. In fact, I'm talking to them right now. They're texting me. There's big bills going on right now, and I'm talking to them.
Well, yeah, the Big Ten sent their commissioner back with the SEC, with the Big 12, and with the ACC. I don't know if BYU sent the independent, but they are going to do something, and they should talk to the Utah people, because you seem to be pretty smart about running a good state. President, good to see you. Thank you for joining me again, and I'm sorry that BYU cannot beat Ohio State this year or ever, but other than that.
We'll wait and see that one, but great to be with you.